What's up, guys? Let's talk about some Walking Dead and who gets killed by Negan in the season finale. This is just my theory, just some ideas just from what's going on. The spoilers, we'll talk about them, what's online, what's all over the place, but no one really knows. It's a matter of opinion right now. But first, let's talk about the Glenn theory. So it's between Glenn and Daryl. Between the two is what I think would make the most sense. Some people think Abraham and a couple other people, but Glenn is the guy I think would be the most logical choice here. This is a great foreshadowing picture. A little bit Terminus, Daryl next to Glenn, Glenn about to get hit with the bat, and boom, Carol saves the day and he gets out of that. Now in the comic is the one where everybody's thinking it's Glenn because of this sequence right here. They're lined up with Carl, Rick, Glenn in the middle, Michonne, and Heath. And it goes eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe, let him go, blah, blah, blah. Pick him up, and it's Glenn. Out of all 5 people there, they pick Glenn. Daryl is not in the comics, so that cannot happen because that is not an option. But, you know, that's like, oh, that's the easy way out. But here in the last episode, they kind of foreshadowed it, made you think about it a little bit more. Obviously, it had to be something to do with that, because why is Glenn looking at these pictures and no one else saw them? I don't know. Here's a picture of him holding a bat in, I think, season 4 or 5. There's a little more foreshadowing. Who knows? But Glenn is a survivor. This is him at the end of the last episode when they hope that they have Maggie. But he is a survivor. I like Glenn. I want Glenn to be around. But if it's between Glenn and Daryl, who would you choose? Who would you pick? Who would you pick? Post comments below to think of who would you think would get Lucille'd, what makes the logical sense, and who do you really vote for if you had to vote for anyone. And that's a terrible choice, but it always comes back to something that they're foreshadowing or leading into. The Walking Dead does a great job in that. And these pictures have to make sense for that. I can't believe that they would just do this and make such a big effort in the episode and in the show to foreshadow in 4 episodes later that it's not going to make sense. So I think that it's going to be Glenn of the 2, but I'll make a case for Daryl coming up next, but I think it's going to be Glenn. Now, does Negan kill Daryl? A lot of spoilers online say it's going to be Daryl. It makes sense. He wants off the show and all this crap, but I don't think it's that reason at all. It would just be that his story arc is complete. The biggest thing that they had this season was that episode 9 at the beginning of this season. Now, there's no damn truck in the very back. If they made an emphasis of that, to say, oh, Negan's guy saw him do it, blah, 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 you would have seen it in the back there. But it would make sense to do that if you saw the rocket launcher there, too. Now, this is the promo for episode 13 as it comes out this Sunday. You see Glenn and Daryl next to each other, so the saviors kind of saw them. Dwight was a savior, pointing a gun at Daryl, but who knows if that makes any sense, if that comes back around. Dwight does come back around. Does he stay around? Do they kill him? I don't know, but I just love this picture of Daryl right here holding a rocket launcher looking like a badass. But Daryl is a survivor just like Glenn, so they're both survivors and they've been around since season 1. Another thing that people don't think about is Greg Nicotero is the long-haired guy there in the back with Norman Reedus. They are best friends. They are great friends. They love each other. Norman loves The Walking Dead, wants to be on the show. If you ever met the fact of that and you talk to him about it, he loves the show more than anyone on the cast. Now, is it going to be a blind draw? Is it going to be luck of the draw? Is it going to be a wrench thrown in there? But logically, since the comic would come true, they're doing more and more of the comics, so I think it would be that. This is the only thing that kind of builds the argument for Daryl, but this is, I think, ultimately going to be the demise of Glenn and the pick of Glenn. So what do you guys think? Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, guys, and thanks for watching.